Hey Internet, this is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. Today, we're going to try to answer a question for you that I hear a lot. Which guitar should you buy? Another way of saying that is, which guitar is right for you? And that's a very loaded question, but it's a question we get asked often. And I know for a lot of you that are shopping for guitars, the reason you're watching these videos is because you're in the market or you just love guitars like we do. That's a common question. And sometimes there's two ways of answering which guitar you should be playing. And the right guitar is often the one that's in your hands. And which guitar you should own, the other answer is all of them. So if your significant other asks how many more, the answer is always one. One more. After that, it's another one more. But I'm kidding. If you are shopping for your first guitar, or you've been playing and you are ready to get a guitar that you really cherish, then stick around, watch this video, and hopefully we'll help to answer some questions and put you in a mindset so that you are better equipped when you go in and start looking at some guitars. So the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is to admit to yourself what you like. There's a lot of opinions out there on the internet, and you can find no shortage of opinions on any forum or Facebook group with people telling you this guitar is better than that guitar is better than that guitar. And the truth is that most of these are opinions. There are things that we can measure based upon quality, but feel, well, that is subjective. Tone, that is also subjective. Aesthetics, that is also subjective. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And your eye probably already has an idea of what you want. Now, we've done a video previously that I would encourage you to watch because we talk about some of this in regards to should I buy an electric, should I buy an acoustic? And when you begin to talk about those things, it gets even more succinct as to, okay, if I'm looking at an electric, there are a lot of options to choose from. Do I want a Telecaster? Do I want a Stratocaster? Do I want one of the many copies of those instruments from a variety of brands that aren't a Telecaster or Stratocaster, although they look like one? Do I want a Les Paul? Do I want something from Paul Reed Smith or ESP or whatnot? A big answer to that is what you are playing, but I will tell you this, without fail, I'm guilty of this myself. Usually, you are going to be attracted to a guitar that you find attractive. That's why you're attracted to it. And so trust that a little bit. If you find a guitar like this awesome Brad Paisley that I happen to like a lot cool and you dig it, then go check it out. Play it, listen to it, watch reviews like we've done on the guitar, and start to develop your own opinion on what you think of that guitar, okay? Listen, play, feel, and decide for yourself. If you, like some people, look at this and think it is hideous and you don't like the wear on it and you want something that's totally different, then you should not be looking at this guitar. It doesn't matter if 100 people tell you this is the guitar for you and it's amazing. If you don't like it, don't get it. If you are trying to decide between guitars like this, Telecaster or Stratocaster, they're both amazing rock machines and they're both extremely versatile. If someone tells you this only plays country music, they've never played a Telecaster. You can play jazz. I know a guy here who plays jazz on a Telecaster, okay? And I know lots of guys who can make a Stratocaster shred. So we're not going to put these in boxes and pigeonhole them to doing only very specific things. You can accomplish a lot of things with one of these guitars in your hands. And so my rant is that I want you to trust yourself a little bit and begin to look at the guitar that you're attracted to. Now, that being said, there is a thing to be said for what your budget is. You might be attracted to a $5,000 guitar, but you can't afford a $5,000 guitar. The nice thing is that in today's market, you can find something to fit your needs in just about any price point, any budget. I'll give you an example here. Let's move away from electric guitars. Say you've always wanted a Koa Taylor guitar. A K24 will run you about $4,500 roughly, okay, in US dollars. If you can't afford that and you want the quality of Taylor guitar, you want the sound and you want the look of Koa, Taylor makes this 224 CE. This actually happens to be a prototype, which is pretty cool. And this deluxe model is under $2,000. Has all the bells and whistles that you could really need both to play at home and to be a performing musician with it. And so you can more easily afford this guitar. Some people are going to say, well, that's really expensive. And you're right, for some people that is also very expensive. But I want to put something in context for you. It's not as expensive as we make it out to be, okay? Guitars, particularly guitars that are available now, are incredible values. And some of you are going to comment on this YouTube video and say, well, that's really self-serving because you sell guitars. And you're right, it is self-serving because I sell guitars. And that's what we do. But I'm going to put it in context for you. A guitar is an instrument that can last a lifetime if it is a quality-made instrument. And a quality-made instrument is worth what it's worth. You spend more or similar money on stuff like laptop computers and smartphones that are outdated in 2 to 3 years, okay? Versus an instrument that you can pass on. And so for me, as a guitar player and someone who deals with a lot of these instruments, it is not difficult to justify a $3,000 expenditure on something that I will have for the rest of my life and that beyond me, people can enjoy for many years to come. And that's the truth of the value proposition. Listen, if you can't afford a $5,000 guitar, you can't afford a $5,000 guitar. But I want to ask you to do this. If the guitar you want is just a little bit out of your reach and you can stretch a little bit to get it, don't be irresponsible, but stretch a little bit to get it, do that. Because in my experience, what has happened is people will come in and they'll buy a 12th guitar and they don't like their previous 11 because they've had difficulty overcoming the mental hurdle to justify the expense on what they really, really want. Okay? If you can be happy with this, get it and enjoy it. And if you can't, save your pennies and get what you really want. Or get this, save your pennies, trade it, sell it. That's the thing about getting something that's a good brand. It has value after the fact. And then get what you really want. But understand what you want, because what you want is going to determine what's the right guitar for you. And maybe it's not a Koa Taylor. Maybe it's something cool like this. Let me show you guys this. We've done videos on this before. This is a Yamaha FG transacoustic guitar. This is like an ambient guitar amp inside a guitar. It's really, really cool, and it's not very expensive. So if you're watching this YouTube video, you're probably like a lot of us, where you're sit around watching YouTube videos of guys reviewing and playing guitars, and you're probably in the market for a guitar. And if you're watching this, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not sure what guitar you really should get. So here's what I'm saying, step by step. What are you drawn to? Aesthetically, what do you think looks cool? What do you find attractive? And what do you want to play? If that is a really cool, vintage, retro-looking electric guitar or a fabulous modern acoustic, then you're on the right track already. Next, do your research like you're doing now. Understand the differences between brands. Smart brands that have been around for a lot of years are that way because they understand their strengths and they focus on those. Brands that try to do everything don't stick around very long or end up filing for bankruptcy and hopefully come back in another form. So if you know of a guitar brand, say like Taylor or Yamaha, understand what their strengths are. If you don't have the opportunity to play one, start doing some research like on our website where we have buyer's guides and we talk about all the things about, say, a Martin guitar or a Yamaha guitar or Taylor guitar and all the guitars in those series so that you can understand what makes sense along that line. Once you've narrowed it down to the type of guitar, the look that you like, the brand preference that you might have, or the tone that you're going after, then at that point, I want you to start looking at budgetary concerns, okay? Because when you have an idea of what you want, then you can find something that fits your budget. If you do it the other way, if you start with your budget in mind, I guarantee you that what's going to happen is that you're going to end up with a guitar that you're disappointed in. So don't do that. Do me a favor, don't do that. So that's my advice for you in finding your guitar. And we want to help you find your guitar. So we have a lot of resources on our website. We're adding resources on a regular basis. So if you subscribe to our videos, great. If you don't, you should. You should go to our website and you should check out all of that stuff. And you should pay attention to what we have to offer. So we're here to help you find your guitar. We don't want to just sell you an instrument. We want to help you make music for a lifetime with something that you really enjoy. So I hope that helps. Check this out. Hey, thanks so much for watching the videos we put out on YouTube. We make these with the goal of helping you find the right instrument to suit your needs, to find the perfect fit so that you find the right guitar and bring many years of joy. We believe strongly that if you play a note, it can change your life. But if you're shopping for a guitar right now, you may be overwhelmed by the amount of choices that are available. Should you get an acoustic guitar, an electric guitar, a classical guitar? Which features matter? Price points, things like that. It can be overwhelming. And for that reason, I've written a guitar buyer's guide called Don't Get a Good Deal on the Wrong Guitar. Follow the link below to download this very comprehensive guide that will talk about every aspect that you should be paying attention to when it comes to purchasing a new guitar. If you ever have questions or need help, go to our website, alamomusic.com. We're here to help. Thanks.